guys, welcome to BustaBlock After Hours Edition. So tonight's a change of plans. Originally, me and Emily was going to be doing a live reaction to WB Superstar, but after I was doing some testing, I realized that no matter what we did, the video was going to get copyrighted because I guess WB Superstar USA has copyrights, and there was no way we could upload it. So change of plans, me and Emily will be doing a live reaction to Atozi's YouTube video covering New York City's worst roommate. This lady is absolutely crazy. It definitely will make you think about who your next roommate will be if you ever have one. So hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode, and if you have anything that you would like us to react to in the future, let me know and I will definitely have us do that. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. Okay, well, in place of WB Superstar, because we can't do that because YouTube wants to copyright me for that.
I mean, we could. You just, it might get taken down.
Yeah, it'll get taken down. So we'll do this instead on our YouTube live reactions. So, okay, let's see what this has in store for us.
This TikToker and small business owner decided to make a 20+ part series about her nightmare roommate in New York City and ended up going viral for all the wrong reasons. And this is even though she managed to raise a few $1,000s in GoFundMe. But I guess what she described the whole ordeal as traumatizing made people go, okay, wait a second, what actually happened? And when people started figuring out what was actually happening, the backlash outweighed the support. And I guess ever since then, she's been laying low on her social media, especially now that her old roommate Marlon and her best friend have weighed in with posts of their own, recounting the experiences and essentially telling EK, the subject of today's video, that she really needs to start looking for a job. And that should apparently be a priority rather than running to social media.
A sublet I met about a month ago made a 30-part TikTok series about me, and I want to address a few things.
And this, honestly, from what I've seen of it, is a cautionary tale.
30 parts long.
30 parts long.
The crazy bitch went and made a 30-part TikTok series.
Oh my god.
Describing this roommate she's only had for like a month.
About oversharing online and how more often than not it can actually lead to you really just hurting yourself more than anything. Because I guess you could argue, at least in the moment, it feels good to have people in your community, I guess, help you with some support and so on, but once your video breaches the containment zone into the World Wide Web, which videos inevitably do if they are potent enough, and you then risk the narrative being completely flipped. And there's a very real risk of that happening, and in this case it absolutely did. And because of that, the narrative got 100% flipped. So now essentially a whole bunch of people are just dunking on her. Okay, so to go from the start, this all started back at the end of May, when EK, known online as Cozy Grocery, came online on her fire escape and announced that she's been blindsided by her roommate and was kicked out at the end of June.
24 hours ago, I was told by my current roommate that I was getting kicked out at the end of June.
So obviously this...
So, if I get this straight, she has no job. She's living with them. She's on TikTok. And now she's upset she's getting kicked out. Obviously because she's not paying rent, I would guess.
Do you know what a sublet is?
No.
So a sublet is basically like this person's like I believe it's where the landlord, people can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's where the landlord leases multiple rooms and they have like they fill in the spot, or it's either they fill in that room or the other person on the lease got somebody else to sign on for their spot, which I think is what's going on here. This woman's prior roommate left, got this lady to sublet in to take over her part of the lease, so nobody, so they didn't have to break the lease because it's expensive to do that.
I see, yeah.
So she's subletting the lease, so she's just on the lease for the rest of the lease's term.
I wonder why this lady
and she's done this about 5 times.
Trusted this person who has no job.
She didn't. She didn't know her. So basically, you can just post does someone want to sublet my lease? You can just ask.
That's just asking for something like this, though.
This was a good hook.
I mean,
People were like,
it
okay,
was only for 2
what
months.
happened here? And EK is a self-described artist that has been living in New York for a little bit over a year. Her full-time job is making cat worry stones, which I guess is a sensory fidget thing.
Hi, my name is EK, and I make worry stones out of polymer clay. I'm a full-time artist in New York City, and I've been living here for the last year.
She apparently also had a video on them go sort of viral on TikTok and Instagram, and ended up finding a little bit of success selling her worry stones and decided to make that her full-time job. So she says that for the last year and a half, she's been bouncing around from sublet to sublet just trying to find a home.
Sacrificed a lot of stability for this. None of this last year has been easy for me. I have lived in 5 different sublets, just bouncing around, trying to find home.
Which I can imagine is only extremely frustrating. Unfortunately, however, after 6 sublets, it looked like she was about to be out of a place to stay once again. So 6 sublets in like a year, that's a lot of moving. And according to EK, it was all because of her evil roommates. So she began a story saying that she was being kicked out, but then detailed a bunch of little things her roommate was apparently doing to make her feel uncomfortable and policed.
And it felt like she started policing me over things that were so elementary. I'm about to turn 30. This person is mid-20s, but acting like they're in high school. She would not allow me to store things on the top 2 shelves in the cabinet because it, quote, stresses her out. When I moved in, I had a different dish rack than her, the one that has walls on this side. She just had a flat dish rack where she would just kind of awkwardly and haphazardly pile up the dishes. And I was like, hey, I've got this other dish rack. Would you be open to us giving it a try? Immediately, she shut it.
Which is interesting because at the time she was also posting videos about how she could finally let her nervous system rest at this current apartment.
This is my room, and oh, she's beautiful. And because I feel so safe and happy here, my nervous system is at rest for the first time in years. And so I'm able to finally notice things that I've otherwise overlooked.
Regardless, she focused on things like them having different dish racks. But ultimately, she says that she reached out to talk about communication, and this is when she found out the roommate was looking for a new roommate to join the lease once EK's sublet was up.
This is exactly what I said. I have nothing to hide. She immediately came back with this, announcing that she was still looking for someone else to live with her. This is the first that I'm hearing of this. I thought everything was fine.
Now, this is important, and we'll come up later, but EK was subletting and knew that her lease was up in June. She says there was a verbal agreement, but they would re-sign in July together, but ultimately, that's never a guarantee with being a sublet. At the end of the first video, she teases the fact that she spoke with the previous roommate that she replaced, and I guess it explains so much, and then announced that she would be dropping part 2 tomorrow.
I got some tea from the girl who lived before me, and it gave so much context into some intuition that I had.
Wait a second. I mean, this is kind of off topic here, but why the fuck does she have a mic on a stick of makeup?
Wondering when you would notice that. That's not makeup, Dylan. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's like a
Glue,
skin
paint?
cream or something of some kind, or it could be paint.
That
I can't tell what it is.
That
like,
is how you
distance.
already tell right off the bat she doesn't have a fucking job because she can't afford anything else to put her mic on.
To be
Like,
fair, I
I'll
feel
just
like
hold
that's
it.
because
see
she makes like she makes that clay content, so she just attaches it to her shirt to talk.
Yeah,
And
but
since she decided she has to go outside to her balcony, because I'm sure her roommate's probably at home or something, and she's out here talking mad shit.
wouldn't it be easier to just hold the mic in your hand and talk into it?
No, it looks like a really tiny mic, and if she's on the fire escape, I would also be worried about dropping it.
Oh my god, that's just gonna annoy me the rest of the fucking video.
About my roommate, as well as what my role was in this scenario. Okay, here we go.
Okay, I don't know about you guys,
No, you
but
know what
I wouldn't
bothers
tease part
me
2
is
unless I
her,
thought
like,
part 1 was
breathing
actually
so
going to
harshly into the damn mic all the damn time.
get people talking and asking for more. So she's clearly trying to drive engagement and I guess people to follow so they don't miss it. Who knows? Maybe she's trying to plug her little her fidget toys. But this is one of the big reasons why I think EK is facing so much backlash, because she's trying to make a whole spectacle out of this. Because I guess it's one thing to vent frustrations online, which honestly, in my opinion, is still dumb, but I guess it's totally different if you're using it intentionally to, I guess, farm content and clickbait. Especially when it's about yours and other people's personal life that are not public people. And of course, not only that, but she's also posting this on her art/business page. But the second video was very similar to the first one. She just vents more more and has a bunch of gripes that she had with a roommate and insinuates that the reason they didn't click was because EK wasn't going to let her mooch.
The person who lived here before me, she did not realize how much this roommate was mooching off of her. She would cook for them often, clean up after the girl. When I moved in, I feel like she is going to expect us to share food. And I find out that she used to share food with the roommate before me. And so when she found out that I wasn't going to be sharing my food with her, I think that must have been when it shifted.
Basically, she
You
doesn't
don't have a job.
Yeah, how the
Get a
fuck are
job.
you gonna be even supplying food when you don't even have food for yourself?
I mean, she has her art business, but if that's not popping off and you can't, like, here, you want to know why? She'll explain it later, but you want to know why she doesn't have her own fucking apartment? Because she doesn't have fucking pay stubs. She moved willingly to New York, knowing it's expensive to be an artist.
That's what I was about to
That's
say.
her passion. She refuses to do anything else.
Being an artist doesn't make any money. Well, not that much money unless you're really
It
famous.
does, but like not in
New York City, that's like going to Colorado Springs. Why the
Like,
fuck
he's
would
gonna
you
say
just
it
not go somewhere
like,
cheap?
why would you shoot yourself in the foot moving to New York where it's super expensive and still not have a job? There are tons of artists in New York who have a job and they continue doing their art. You can't not have a job unless you have like rich parents or something. You can't do that.
Her food or do her roommate's dishes, which I mean, I guess is fair, but also if you're hoping to get along and get a lease permanently, arguing over small stuff like that won't help you. Also, I feel like most people have had roommates before. Some days you just do the heavy lifting and other days your roommates do the heavy lifting for you. That's just life. Regardless, while EK has been sharing screenshots throughout these first two posts, they're mostly just regular roommate stuff. And I'm sure most people have had these awkward confrontations with roommates that don't see eye to eye, especially in any major city.
It's like, are we for real? Did I do something that offended you? Because I really want.
Hang on, I didn't realize you didn't think we were a good fit. Can you tell me why I like to stay here? I'm so happy living here.
Want to stay. I'm very happy here.
But really, part 3 is where EK actually starts to show the receipts of her roommates flip-flopping and on whether she's going to be moving out or not. And at this point, a lot of people are on her side.
So I was like, when were you going to tell me this? Because until I texted you, this is the first time hearing about it. Funniest thing was her just being like, well, it's not set in stone. You know, I'm just looking. I was like, oh, but it has to be. It has to be set in stone. I could have been a week out from thinking that we were re-signing and, oh, surprise, actually not going to be living here anymore. I was like, I've been through this multiple times. I started looking for a new place.
You won't get a job.
Because to be fair to her, if you were under the assumption that you were going to be re-signing, it would absolutely sting to find out that not only are you going to not re-sign, but you also have to find.
I will say, on her defense, I will say that they should have at least let her know that this is not working out instead of telling them last minute.
Yeah, she should have. But also, to be fair, she doesn't know her. This woman signed on as a sublet. They briefly talked about maybe signing back on in June, but she knew she was a sublet and this wasn't her lease.
And yeah, in her case, she should have had a backup plan just in case.
And plans change.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure later we find out that like the roommate had her best friend and her finally found a place they could live together. So she was just gonna leave.
A new place to live, but also that your roommate straight up dislikes your personality enough to where you have to vacate after a month. So does it warrant bringing all this online? I don't know. I don't think so. But things start getting a little murky in the text when the roommate starts offering for EK to stay, and instead she'll leave and find both a new roommate and also a new apartment.
You and said she thought you were cool. I get this text. What if you stay instead and I leave? I was so shocked. She folded.
Okay, so what's going on here then? Regardless, unfortunately, EK continues talking about her roommate's toxic behavior, again, insinuating that she's unhealed and that's why she's acting the way that she is. Also, I hate when people just use therapy speak to like try to find some sort of moral high ground with people. It's just so disgusting.
And I want a big life, and I know I will have it because I know I am light. I am love incarnate.
We all have the capacity and the ability to have that. This person has the capacity and the ability to do that if she does the work, except a lot of from your past, accept it about yourself, be very kind to yourself.
This is such a strange, unfounded diagnosis of a girl that I guess she's been sharing a kitchen and living room with for like, what, 40 days? This just reeks of narcissism. Well, the video ends with a lot of EK patting herself on the back and dropping some girl boss quotes like, "You messed with the wrong in the wrong era." Again, reeks of narcissism.
I am so powerful and magnetic, and I have been told by too many people that I'm not and that I don't deserve to take up space. I don't deserve to eat.
Maybe
deserve to
because
eat.
you're the problem.
What the fuck did she just
Like,
say?
I don't believe that anyone should be telling people, you know, KYS or you don't deserve to take up space. You know, you deserve your space just away from me.
Oh my god.
But wow.
And
I have
ate.
never
I didn't do
heard
anything
such
to her. She
self-entitlement
dug
in
this
my life.
grave for herself. You started the morning saying that you were talking to 3 different people about signing the lease with you, and now you are the one moving out. That's karma. I'm your
You can't
karma.
afford to stay.
How the fuck is that karma?
So her moving out is fucking you over, not her.
Yeah, is she this stupid?
You
So
can't afford to stay
she
by yourself. You
has
don't have a job.
no job, no stable income. Her only roommate is moving out. So now she's going to be roommate Alyssa again for the 6th time with no stable income, no way to pay the bills, and she's saying that's karma.
Oh, and don't worry, Dylan.
Freaking.
She wins, okay? Her roommate's leaving. She won.
What an
She
ass
ate,
clown.
as she put
Well,
it.
for over your last roommate, you messed with the wrong in the wrong era.
Imagine you just don't want to live
no.
with someone and then they start posting your texts and quoting dramatic lyrics as content on their work page. What? I mean, this would cause anyone to scramble to find some new living situation, whether she gets to stay or ends up leaving. You just don't want to be around this kind of person. But I guess over the next multiple videos,
no, you
EK
don't.
continues sharing texts where she says that her roommate continues to flip-flop and drag her feet, sending photos and so on and so on.
Over this last week, I've been waiting for her to send photos of her room so I can make a post and look for my own roommate. She said that she would texted her yesterday asking when she was going to send the photos. Yesterday was Wednesday. She said, "I'll send them on Monday." I'm like, it's like 3 photos. Why is it going to take you the entire weekend? And didn't give me a good answer. And I was like, that's sus. Maybe she is still looking for a roommate to fill my room here. She wanted to talk in person. I said no. I'm not comfortable with that.
Are
Bitch, you
home?
live with her.
I
What do
think
you
we should
mean?
talk in person. No, I don't want to talk in person. I feel like so much I need to say to be vulnerable because text is not helping me. There's literally nothing to talk about. I just need a few photos. No, there is. I do not want to speak in person.
Free right to say no.
So she sends this text. Just so we're clear, my plans aren't finalized yet. And if I stay, we're not renewing. Like
It is her lease.
Okay,
You
remember,
can't say
like
anything
this
about
roommate is the one on the lease, so it's ultimately her choice what happens. But EK remains firm in her opinion that the roommate is doing this intentionally to F with her peace. What?
I think she's doing this intentionally to with my mind and joy and peace, and I'm not going to let her do that.
Yeah, there's a lack of empathy here. I mean, of course, there's no chance her roommate could also be struggling to find a new place to live and doesn't want to jump ship yet. Like, what? It sucks for whoever has to move. But unfortunately, this is also the reality of being on a sublease. You don't have the same protections as the person on the lease.
As of this morning, I received a text from her that she is now going to be staying. That really sucks because she confirmed in writing that she was leaving. I'm like, I don't think you can just change your mind like this, especially after you emailed management. I'm talking with the landlord. I'm trying to figure out tenant rights. It's turned into a whole thing, and it did not need to be.
Okay, I get that EK is annoyed when her roommate confirmed that she would be leaving and then changed her mind. Obviously, using the word confirm when you're not actually sure, that's going to upset the other person. But it's also insanely ironic to say it turned into a whole thing it didn't need to be when EK was the one who brought it up on social media. But keep in mind, all of this has happened within a week or so. Like, it wasn't a month of the roommate going back and forth. It was potentially, what, like 10 days or something like that? This is still June 8th, meaning EK has the rest of the month to try and figure things out. And of course, days go by, but the arguments that EK continues to showcase are more about them communicating.
Said that I was too stern in my text, and I was like, how? Because I am just talking logistics. She's wanting to have some heart to heart, be vulnerable as a woman. I'm just asking for photos so I can make a listing. I think she's doing this intentionally.
Okay, I think it's time to start looking for a new living situation. Like, put down
No,
TikTok
she
and
just
open
wants to talk
Zillow
to
or
you,
something. Obviously, I don't
old
blame
bitch.
this girl for trying to avoid texting EK, considering she's posting all of their screenshots online. What? But finally, on June 15th, it was decided that EK was going to be the one to stay if she qualified.
And I've heard from the landlord, not her, that she is now leaving once again. And I have 24 hours to find a new roommate to take her place in order to keep the place for myself.
And I guess everything really popped off when EK found a new roommate and applied for the lease herself instead as a subletter. And this is when everything really hit the fan.
Landlord now for the last 48 hours, because they were like, you need to find a roommate in less than 24 hours, or you need to find a personal guarantor in order for you to keep the place for yourself. And I'm like, you didn't even let me know 2 weeks ago if I was going to be able to stay or not. And I've just been sitting here emailing y'all every day, trying to get a response on things. And now y'all want to be rushed. And so I did the impossible. I found a roommate in less than 24 hours. I interviewed one person through FaceTime and just trusted my gut. She submitted her stuff and they were like, okay, we need you to resubmit. I was like, why? I submitted 2 months ago and y'all approved me. So I submit and they're now like, you guys make under the income that you need. And I'm like, what the do you mean? I did the math. We make over the amount. Also, I've been here for 2 months and I've been paying rent on time. That should amount for something.
Turns out the landlord was raising the rent and EK didn't have the income to qualify.
I'm on the brink of losing my housing and I don't know what to do anymore. And I was given 24 hours to find a new roommate and I wound up finding someone, which was really great. I warned her up front that leave if this is too much. The drama has been stupid. She did wind up backing out and I reassured her. I was like, there are no hard feelings. I don't wish this stress on anyone. I'm now facing this final week by myself. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Okay, I'm not gonna knock her hustle because I have a whole bunch of friends who make income in very oddball ways, but sporadically making polymer clay cats, that might not consistently bring in enough money the way a regular day job does to qualify for a lease. And one of the most
Now, like I'll say is I get wanting to do something that makes you happy because fucking working in a lot of jobs nowadays is draining mentally. But if that's like if you're falling behind on your bills or you don't have enough money to stay afloat and you're starting to lose stuff and possibly lose your house, I think it's time to buckle down and just suffer through something so you can make money to do what you need to do.
Oh, Dylan, you might want to close your door. I think you're setting my mic off a little bit.
I'm what?
I think you were talking so loud it was kind of setting my mic off just a little bit.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
expensive cities in the world.
She's
yeah. And I guess a lot of
in the
people are
most
also clowning EK at this
cities,
point
too.
for
It doesn't
quoting
help.
Mondami's Nick speech about New Yorkers having their backs up against the wall, but seemingly refusing to get a job beyond her art.
I don't have like all of the words memorized, but he was like, what is New York if not your back is up against the wall, your dream just out of reach, unsure how you'll make your next rent payment, and looking at those 99.6% odds that are against you and smiling because in that 0.4% New Yorkers find a way.
And obviously the art thing is
You're
cool,
not
but if you can't afford to provide yourself in the city you want to live in, you need to find a job to where you can at least have a baseline, and then you can work on your art on the side, and hopefully that income will outpace your job, and then you can fully rely on that. But until then, you're just going to be torturing yourself by jumping from sublease to sublease. But people are also pointing out the fact that she's a transplant crying about the very common experience of struggling to find stable housing in New York. Because again, New York is like one of the most expensive cities in the world. It is a massive privilege to be able to live there, especially.
I think it's echoing through your mic now.
My mic's muted.
That's what the sound for me was. Okay.
Stop playing with your fucking toy, Casey.
actually in a good area there, and very few people actually have the income to be able to do so comfortably. But regardless, EK made a GoFundMe so she could pay the total rent herself if it came to that, and ended up making a few $1,000s before she closed it.
A few days ago, I wound up starting a GoFundMe to help raise money and try to get the apartment to myself for a month, like, to buy me time. I pay that rent and the security deposit, and I may have to pay for a guarantor, and it's a lot of money that I don't have because I've had a roommate, and so I'm not paying that much.
But I guess once viewers found out that she was asking for people to crowdfund her rent while she didn't actually work, the backlash really started hitting. And this is also when the roommate Marlon herself spoke out about this in 2 videos, basically just making fun of the situation and telling EK that she doesn't owe her anything.
A sublet I met about a month ago made a 30-part TikTok series about me, and I want to address a few things. We're gonna keep it short and straight to the point because 30? I genuinely don't know how any of this is my fault. You started subleasing a few weeks ago. A sublease is temporary by definition, meaning I don't owe you You are not entitled just because you moved in. I feel like I gave you plenty of notice and time to make arrangements so that when you re-sign the lease, you won't be stressed out. You even admitted that you found someone within a day. The real issue is that the rent increased and now you need to qualify for the lease yourself. And that is not my problem.
Now, okay, I have to admit that it sort of seems like with the ending in jokes that she is more trying to capitalize on the situation for her own social media. And I don't really blame her because that's what the first person did.
You have moved 5 times within a year. At this point, babe, there's a common denominator and it's definitely not the people that you're subleasing from. I feel like at this point it's you. What sucks is that you made 30 videos about me consecutively, wishing bad upon me, saying I'm getting karma, calling me names, calling me out of my name. I don't even know you, babe, and you don't even know me. I just met you a month ago.
So I mean, hey, it's fair game. If someone's blasting you online for social media gain, you might as well blast them back for some social media gain.
I mean, she started it multiple times. Why don't you get an actual job? And your response is always, I'm an artist. There's plenty of artists in New York City that still have regular jobs because they know rent needs to be paid at the end of the day. And instead of finding a job, you decide to basically scream, call me out of my name, say that I am a nightmare roommate, blaming me for not wanting to re-sign the lease with you. Which is crazy.
God, I wonder why.
I feel like if you started a GoFundMe that said, I can't afford rent right now, that's one thing. But because you switched the narrative and basically stated you are trapped in a traumatized, abusive situation with your roommate because I'm choosing to leave is completely different.
And not to mention, I mean, she is correct by saying sublets are temporary by definition, and she doesn't owe EK anything since, you know, she's not on the lease. But this doesn't invalidate the fact that she did flip-flop in the screenshots, and she doesn't seem to want to address that. Like telling someone that they have to leave and then changing your mind and going, actually, you stay, actually, no, I'm leaving. I mean, that would be infuriating to anyone. But then things got even worse when Marlon's friend made her own video about the whole situation that was more or less a dunk fest on EK.
A 30-year-old woman has been having a public meltdown on TikTok for a month because my best friend and decided not to re-sign her lease so that she could move in with me. And this woman has somehow convinced a bunch of people to give her thousands of dollars by lying.
You know, she slammed her art, the GoFundMe, the fact that she wasn't from New York, and her unwillingness to work.
A few weeks ago, Marlon finds a place in Manhattan with me and officially tells EK, like, hey, I'm gonna be leaving. EK starts to crash out because they don't have a job, they sell keychains, and they don't have, like, the pay stubs needed to qualify for an apartment. So she started a GoFundMe claiming the landlord is evil and that my friend put her in a horrible, traumatizing situation, although all my friend did was say, I'm moving out.
I can't believe she raised $3,000
saying my landlord is an evil slumlord. The landlord is like, hey, can you maybe qualify for the apartment? Like, hey, could you please send me a pay stub perchance? Like, the evil slumlords trying to remove me from my city. Your city? Baby, me and you both were from Georgia.
And all of this just continued to turn the tides further on EK. But since then, EK made a video thanking people for their support, but has taken a step back from social medias as well as closing the GoFundMe. Currently, she has her comments limited on Instagram, so they are mostly just supportive. But TikTok, on the other hand, is a very different story. Comments are berating her left and right, but still, she leaves the videos up. Like I said, this is a great example of why you shouldn't bring everything to social media. It often just explodes in your face, and it's just contributing to people not trusting one another. another. Like, why
People
bring
like
any
to
minor personal
overshare
dispute you have
nowadays.
with someone on other people's For You page? Well, regardless, it'll be interesting to see if EK returns and if this
you know
helps
the
or
internet,
hurts her
Dylan, they
cat
like
worry
to
stone business.
dig.
I don't know. This was just a laughably stupid situation that no one really needed to know about, but just somehow
No, but
was
I'm glad I
forced on
did.
everyone's
I
For
enjoyed
You
the
page
drama.
over the last week or so. Hence why I wanted to cover it. But if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think about the situation down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Tozy is awesome. This dude has such good content. But yes, that
He
is
does.
that is so fucking insane.
I don't know why everyone thinks I have never been one to just post my shit online. Like, I barely use Twitter. I hate Twitter. I don't use Facebook. I don't use any of that shit. I don't like it. Like, why do you feel the need to post all of your goddamn business on the internet? Like, this content is different, okay? This is for fun. This isn't my personal goddamn business. We're just making fun of somebody else's personal goddamn business because they posted it. Like, the internet will dig and dig and dig. Like, you shouldn't, if you think it's gonna, even if you don't think it'll swing back on you, but like, you know that you're just being insufferable, don't post it.
Yeah.
Like, none of us are on your side. Nobody.
That is crazy. All right,
Yes,
well,
it sucks that she flip-flopped, but it was her lease.
I don't know. I can't deal with roommates. Like, I would just rather live in a freaking shack
We're
by
not built for
myself.
roommates, Dylan.
I'm saying if I was like out there in New York, though, anywhere, just have your own privacy, have your own room. I couldn't do uh, a place like where I have to be a roommate with someone I don't even know.
Mm.
Like, that's just crazy. But okay, that does it for this week's edition of After Hours. So we will see you guys next week for our next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.